to make one of my favorite dessert recipes. It's called no-bake cookies. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it with low-carb ingredients so that it's good for someone who's doing a low-carb, high-fat diet. So what we're going to do is, the recipe is really super simple. It's 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Put that in there. And it's 2 tablespoons of sweetener. I like to use Truvia or granulated stevia. And you want to mix that in so that it kind of melts a little bit so that it's not still kind of granulated. You want it to mix in pretty well with that butter. You want to put it in the butter while it's still fairly warm so that it mixes in well. And then you want to put in 3/4 of a cup of natural low-carb peanut butter or another type of butter like almond butter. You just want to be careful if you're using something like almond butter or another nut butter that's really fatty, that it might make the batter a little thin, but that's okay because I keep these in the refrigerator anyway to keep them solid, just because I prefer them that way. I haven't actually tried leaving them out on the counter to see how they do, but I just keep them in the refrigerator. So I'm just mixing this peanut butter. I chose to use crunchy peanut butter this evening because it's my husband's favorite. And, you know, since I'm not the only person eating these, I'm trying to make it good for everyone involved. So that's all mixed together. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chocolate PB2. That's something you can get at any grocery store typically. It's what it is it's a dried peanut butter that they have taken all the fat out of because people are concerned about the trans fats in peanut butter. I like it in this recipe because it adds a little bit of consistency. You could add a little more or a little less to your taste, but I like it because the chocolate PB2 adds a little bit of chocolate flavor to it as well. And then I'm also going to add some dark chocolate chips. I just melted about 1/8 of a cup. You can also use cocoa or another type of dark chocolate. That just happened to be what I had in the house. So that's what I'm using. Of course, dark chocolate has much less sugar than other types of chocolate. So you want to go for a low sugar option. And I'm really bad about not measuring things. So unfortunately, since I'm trying to show you guys a recipe, I had to get a little more specific on that. So I've got the chocolate mixed in there. So this looks like, it almost looks like brownie mix right now. It's just peanut butter, butter, chocolate, and a little bit of sweetener. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of shredded coconut. You want to use the unsweetened kind because, of course, we're doing the low carb thing here. So I'm just mixing in that unsweetened coconut. And if you're familiar with no-bake cookies, typically what's used is oats. And I'm not using oats for 2 reasons. One, because they're a grain and they're also considered a carbohydrate. And because I do a grain-free diet, I don't eat oats. So what I've got here, and you can see this literally has taken me no time at all. I've got the batter, which is, it's a consistency of brownies basically, but it's chocolate and coconut and peanut butter. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make little haystack piles on a cookie sheet that has parchment paper because they won't stick to the parchment paper. And then you just throw them in the freezer for an hour or so, and then you just pop them off the parchment paper and stick them in a refrigerator container with a lid, or you can put them in a Ziploc bag and throw them in the fridge and just leave them there for people to snack on as needed. This it's a fairly decent recipe. It's really low carb. It's got some good fats in there, so hopefully this is something that you'll find useful. And let me know if you try it. I'd love to hear what your family thought. Thanks.